Hi guys, today we are solving a problem which is based on DP, which is called house robber. You are a professional robber planning to rob houses along a street. Each house has a certain number of money stashed. The only constraint stopping you from robbing each of them is that adjacent houses have security systems connected, and it will automatically connect police if two adjacent houses were broken into at the same night. Given an integer array nums representing the right amount of money or present at each house, return the maximum number of money that you can rob tonight without alerting the police. Which means if we are stealing money from the first house, we cannot steal money from the second house. Which means we have to skip alternate houses in order to not get caught. And that is what is the motive. And we have to return the maximum money which we can rob. So whenever a question comes with a condition of maximum any answer, let's say maximum money here. Yesterday we had max minimum number of steps count, which we solved yesterday. Yesterday was also a deep problem. So this whenever the question asks you to get a maximum or a minimum number of something, and they have a condition attached to it, you mostly use DP. So there is a basic DP template which we have discussed yesterday and before in a lot of DP problems, which is we are going to initialize a DP array with one size greater than the given array. And with that, we are going to initialize the first two elements and we are going to run the loop, taking out the maximum amount according to the given conditions, and we're going to return the DP array and the position, the element present at the last index of the DP array. So that would be our answer. So basically, here what we are doing is, these are the houses. Let's say, this is house 1, this is house 2, this is house 3, this is house 4. And the money present here is 1. Money present here is 2. Here is 3. Here is 1. Right. So what is the given condition? That we cannot rob from adjacent houses. So we have to skip one house present in the between. So here if we start from 1 and if we want to rob the house which has maximum money present in these two, we would take 2. And if we had to rob this house, we cannot rob this house, because it is adjacent to it. So after skipping this house, we go to this house. So our total cost becomes 3. Total money robbed becomes 3. Now if we start from the first house, we have to skip this house. So our total is still 1, which is lesser than this. But we still try to move ahead and see if this is greater than this total, the amount total present here, which is the condition is going to be if the amount present here, let's say at first location, at first location, which is 2, should be greater than this plus this. If that is true, then we take this into account or we take these two into account. I hope it is a little bit clear now. If let's say we had a house, let's draw one more house here at the start. And this had value, let's say 5. If we had to rob this house, we wouldn't have robbed this house. We would have robbed this house and this house, as we cannot rob adjacent houses again. So to make sure this condition is always fulfilled automatically and we don't have to do it manually, is we're going to check if the amount robbed at ith location should be greater than the amount robbed at I minus 1, plus I plus 1th location. If these two are greater than this, then we go for this pair and not for this pair, because obviously 5 plus 2 is greater than 1. So I hope it is a little clear now. I will start solving it now by using a basic DP template and also using one more method, which is also DP, but just a different template than usual. So let's first do it with the not so basic template. So if we have an integer, we're going to have two integers. One would be rob and the second would be, let's say, do not rob. So our rob would be 1 and our do not rob, let's call it do not, 0. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a for loop here. We are not even going to declare an array, which we generally do in the case of basic DP problems. But this is a little bit modified. Here we're going to start I with 0. In DP, we generally don't start I from 0. We generally start from 1 or 2. Now we're going to run it till nums.length. What we're going to do is inside of this loop, we are going to have another variable called current rob. In this variable, we're going to compare the condition that we just discussed. That is, if that particular element present at ith location is greater than I minus 1 and I plus 1. This we won't do it directly. This we're going to do using swapping. That is another trick here which we are using. Let's say in current we are going to add do not rob plus nums at I. Because if we are robbing ith location, we cannot rob the one before it, right? So we are going to keep swapping the values of do not rob and rob. Do not rob becomes match.max of do not and rob. And rob becomes current rob. And this is pretty much it. And we are going to return match.max of rob and do not. Let's see if this works correctly. Yep. Yes, this works perfectly fine. This is not very intuitive, so we are going to go back to our original DP template and we are going to solve the same problem using that as well. For that, we are going to have a DP array of size new int 1 greater than nums.length. This is always the case. Now what we're going to do is we're going to initialize DP of 1 with nums of 1. Because we are going to start our for loop from the second location. This would run until nums.length and we're going to do I plus plus. What we're going to do inside is we're going to calculate the DP of 1 greater than I. So for that, what we're going to do is let's start our DP with 1 and see what happens. Equals to match.max of DP of I minus 1 DP of I minus 1 plus nums of I comma DP of I. And what we're going to return is DP of nums.length, always the last element. Now let's try to run it. Yep, there is some problem. Let's try to understand what is it. We have a DP array of size length 1, nums plus 1, DP of I equals to nums of 0. That is where I guess we went wrong. Let's try to run it now. Yes, let's try to submit it. And a solution is accepted. I hope this is this sum is understood by you all, and this is the more intuitive one, more than the previous solution that we just discussed. And I hope you guys understood, and yes, I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you.